Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Ignition Time. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda, and welcome to our channel. Could the $300 a week and could the pandemic unemployment benefits be extended beyond Labor Day, beyond the 6th of September, which was mandated by the American Rescue Plan? Let's take a close look at what experts are saying. Before we get into it, please click the like button. Please click subscribe. Please enable notifications since that supports the channel. Let's show you this headline on your screen from CNBC. Could pandemic unemployment be extended beyond Labor Day? What experts are saying. As always, we'll provide you with the link to this resource and all of our resources in the description section below. So make sure you check them out. Now, let's explore what exactly can happen if the benefits lapse. Let's take a look at this comment from Jenna Jerry, who's a senior staff attorney with the National Employment Law Project. She told CNBC, now exactly what advocates feared would happen with the last extension to September 6th is now happening. We knew the pandemic would not be over, and it's not. With the Delta variant rising and places going back to having mask mandates, we're taking steps backwards and ending aid when people continue to need and rely on them. Here's another comment from Andrew Stetner, who's a senior fellow at the Century Foundation. The public health crisis could make people think twice about this cutoff of benefits. However, people are holding out hope for that extension, but to be honest, there's not a lot of political momentum behind it right now. Andrew Stetner said that it's not clear that enough lawmakers would support the extension of the $300 a week beyond the 6th of September. And now the lawmakers are primarily focused on whether the $300 weekly boost disincentivizes, in other words, discourages people from finding new work. Now, a lot of businesses in many sectors, specifically in leisure and hospitality, are having a hard time filling a growing number of job openings. In response to sluggish job reports in April, many Republican governors, we're talking 26 states, decided to prematurely end the $300 a week unemployment benefits. So, what happens if the benefits actually lapse on the 6th of September? Stetner said that while the $300 a week boost is expected to end, by the way, that would mean the PUA program would also end. He said that would cause an unemployment cliff for roughly 7.5 million of our fellow Americans and their families starting the 6th of September. Now, keep in mind that as of the middle of July, roughly 9.4 million of our fellow Americans were drawing benefits from one of these programs. This makes up more than 72% of Americans collecting unemployment benefits overall. Now, traditionally, individuals on the PUA program, the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program, do not qualify for unemployment insurance. So, these recipients will not have any safety net to recover lost wages once all these programs end on the 6th of September. Some long-term unemployed people who are claiming the PEUC program could move over to extended benefit programs, which are offered by the state. Remember, this is a federally funded program that triggers depending on the state's unemployment rate. The problem is, again, those who are on the PUA program will be left high and dry. Here's another quote from Stetner. We've extended unemployment benefits before. They usually kept in place several years into a recovery period with the understanding unemployment happens fast, but re-employment takes time. Now, I did mention earlier that Andrew Stetner did mention there was not much political support, not much support amongst senators, amongst congressmen to actually extend the $300 a week. But he said, I quote, that doesn't mean we have to cut off everything. Now, I just want our viewers and subscribers to know that following the 2008 financial crisis, Congress did create and extend emergency unemployment benefits through December 2013. Now, those benefits were not as generous as these benefits, but in December 2013, when the unemployment benefit extensions were cut off, 1.3 million people were cut off from jobless aid. Now, we're talking about 7.5 million people being cut off from jobless aids. Now, a lot of critics have said that the 2013 cutoff was too early, and at that time, Congress did let the aid expire. The black unemployment rate at that time was over 10%. And the national rate was also high. Now, today, the overall unemployment rate is down to 5.4%, but African Americans are at 8.2% unemployment and Hispanic workers are at 6.6% unemployment. So there's definitely higher unemployment amongst African American workers and amongst Hispanic workers. Now, lawmakers have set expiration dates and extended pandemic unemployment benefits many times since March 2020. And a lot of economists have said, hey, don't just cut it off completely. Phase it out. based on economic conditions, based on the unemployment rate, rather than a random date, September 6th. And this does indeed make sense. Just saying, hey, let's cut off benefits on September 6th doesn't make sense. It depends on whether you found a job or not. It depends on whether you've been vaccinated or not. It depends on the vaccination rates. It depends on other factors like childcare. And of course, it depends on the big variable, the Delta variant. I have done another video on our channel talking about the Delta variant. But folks, the big factor here is that unemployment benefits insurance needs to be reformed. In fact, many worker advocacy groups, including Unemployed Action, Extend PUA, and Unemployed Workers United, have been working with policymakers to improve unemployment benefits throughout the pandemic, with the ultimate goal of making the overall unemployment benefit system much more robust, much more uniform, much more fair. Keep in mind, the unemployment benefit system was instituted back in the 1930s and 1940s. And for over 50 years, the unemployment benefit system, software systems, have remained the same. Think about this for a second. We pay taxes into a system, and that system is supposed to help the most vulnerable amongst us with unemployment benefits. And that system was not ready. That system simply was not geared up to be able to help those who need it the most. And a lot of advocates say that permanently expanding the pool of eligible workers can provide a more fair, a more just unemployment insurance system. Now, Americans most likely to be supported by today's temporary PUA and the PEUC programs, the long-term unemployed, self-employed, freelancers, gig workers, part-time workers, and caregivers, are also disproportionately African American, Hispanic, Asian. They are disproportionately women, and they are disproportionately low income earners. Here's another quote from Jenna Jerry, who's a senior staff attorney with the National Employment Law Project, like I mentioned earlier, and this is important. She says, unemployment insurance is an essential program, but it was created in the 1930s and exclusively left out predominantly BIPOC workers. Over the years, we've made some progress towards reform, but the need for PUA, PEUC, and FPUC further demonstrates how much further we need to go. We definitely have a long way to go because the unemployment insurance system needs to be reformed. But politically, there is little to no will to extend unemployment benefits beyond Labor Day. And this is what the experts are saying. I want our viewers and subscribers to know the truth. I'm not going to give you false hope. I think you can handle the truth and have a lot of respect for our community, which is why I will always share the truth wherever the truth might lead us. Please click the like button. Please click subscribe. Please enable notifications. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. Take care. Bye.